Welcome back to Bespoke Addict. I'm going to be selling another fabulous pair. This time they're French, Pierre Corthay. And these are going to be listed, just like the Gazziola and Girlings and the George Cleverley, at no reserve on eBay. That's eBay UK. They're just fabulous things. Very, very rare Pierre Corthay. These are early Pierre Corthay. Probably from about 2007, when the company was completely sort of run by Pierre himself. And there've been a lot of changes sort of post, I think it was around about 2010, but these are an early pair in utterly beautiful condition. They're around about UK size 11. They've got trees fitting in them. They're extremely tight. The trees do read. They're printed with 12. But that's not UK 12. These are French, and the French always go one size up a little bit like in American. If these were UK, that'd be an 11. But they're very, very tight. There's no, the trees go in, but there's no, they're completely compacted. There's no sort of spring at all. So if they are an 11, they're a tight 11. I could even say 10.5 might be more comfortable, but I'll put all the measurements on them on the listing, but they are just beautiful, beautiful things. And if I can bring them up to camera, let the camera see inside, there's no real obvious wear. There's some marks and scratches, but we've got steel tips. But they're not really what you'd call, they're not heavily worn. I've had them on my feet once or twice for photographic purposes, but they're a bit too big for me. They're just too long. And so I've had them on my feet, but not really worn them. And I love the way they do the lacing. The bottom one's very, very wide. And another unusual feature of early Corthay is these very, very flat sort of toe caps. They're kind of chiseled off. And I found a photograph earlier of some early Corthay, and there was a whole row of them, and they've all got these flat toe caps. They're very unusual, and I think that's pretty unique to Corthay, where it's kind of rounded and flattened. But and what I'll do, I'll actually, out of interest, I think I'll post that photograph on the listing. They're very similar colour to these as well. There's a whole row of them, maybe 10 pairs that are obviously in the workshops. But very, very rare. You just do not. They're not a large manufacturer, and they've not been around a massive amount of time. They've not been around decades. Sort of 20 years or less. So the output out there isn't enormous. There aren't a lot of Corthay shoes, and especially the early ones. But it's just fabulous things. I've got to get rid, because I've just got so many. I've got more than 100 pairs I don't wear, and I'm just biting the bullet and selling them off. I love to have them, love to keep them, but it just got silly. My house is ridiculous. It's causing a lot of trouble, and I have to be strict and get rid of a few. And these are one of the pairs that'll be going. I will miss them. I won't miss wearing them, because I've not really been wearing them, but I'll miss looking at them and gazing at them, and just the magic of such things, really. They're just really, really fantastic. And I will, I'll put all of the measurements, proper measurements on the listing. Like I say, I would suggest UK 10.5 to an 11. I say 11 because that tree is a very tight fit. Normally when a tree goes in, even when it's in the shoe, there's a bit left on the spring, but these are not. It's entirely closed. So they will find a good home, I'm sure of it, and somebody will get an awful lot more out of these than I've been able to. If they're a size smaller, these will be staying. I wouldn't even be thinking of getting rid of them, but they are just in glorious condition. Yeah. I'm gazing at them now, because making these videos makes me almost have second thoughts, but I can't do that. I've committed to selling these, and they're not listed yet, but they will be within a few hours. They are being sold. No reserve on eBay UK.